Hi Aries, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. If you're already familiar with this space, then you already know what to do and you already know what to expect, so welcome back. But if you're new to this channel, welcome in and definitely feel safe enough to be yourself wherever you are energetically, be it positive, negative, or neutral. That doesn't matter so long as you leave better than you came, okay? Like this video, share it with your friends and family. I want to say subscribe, but also do that if you enjoy my energy and you want to see more of these videos. Let's get into this reading for you guys though. I'm recording on my phone, so I want to make it short and sweet and simple, just in case. I'm not taking these cards. Just in case it just randomly decides to not work. What you guys have as overlying energy though is the Ace of Cups, followed by the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands. Okay. So there's somebody that really is yearning for your love or to connect with you at some capacity. That's what I'm getting. You guys have the Three of Swords, 2 threes here. Somebody that you saw some sort of a future with. I definitely feel like this is somebody that you know, especially with these threes here, and that's speaking to Gemini's energy. But you have the Justice card that came out after the Three of Swords. You saw some sort of a future. But I feel like right now you guys are just not on talking terms, really. Your heart says vacant. If there were a sign on the outside of your heart, it would say vacant. But not for long, Aries. Why is that? Because you guys don't stay down in the dumps for too long. And if it's this other person that is trying to come back and reconnect with you, they're not going to take no for an answer. You guys have the King of Swords with the Two of Wands, the Ace of Wands. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor. Two of Swords, Nine of Pentacles. They no longer want to put you in the gray area, you know, where things are just undefined. Because that only leaves room for error. You know what I'm saying? That you're just creating space for disaster when you try to operate like that all the time, at the very least. It's okay to know when to implement it and to use that type of energy appropriately where you're more flexible, you know what I'm saying, and acting more so in a nonconformist way. But when it comes to romantic attraction and connections with people, you really have to learn how to be fair in that, you know, just to ensure that no one person is assuming all of the weight, you know, carrying all of the burden and or responsibility, and is, how am I trying to say that? For lack of a better word, it's just in that dynamic, you don't feel like the power is being abused, you know, through persuasion, manipulation, whatever other forms of persuasion that you can use. I'm getting gaslighting to some degree. So there was some toxicity, you know, in this relationship. So I definitely feel like if you're not on talking terms with somebody, it's for the greater good right now. So you can just kind of let all of the tension dissipate a little bit so that you can sit and have a very mature conversation once it's appropriate to be had. You know what I'm saying? But in this dynamic, I feel like they're done with that. They understand now that there is a system to the relationship and a space where they are more receptive to giving, but also in receiving, you know, so it can be unselfish energy with this Two of Wands and the Ace of Wands. Now, if this is somebody new coming into your life here for you singles, like singles, I do feel like this person is just either really talkative or really shy. Can play it both ways, you know what I'm saying? If they're the really more talkative type, you kind of are in that space where you're just going to kind of sit back and observe and just listen, because you know the one that talks the most talks on themselves, or tells on themselves. The one that talks the most tells on themselves. So you can be kind of playing that game where you're just trying to suss out in conversation what this person's intentions are, because I feel like there's something that they do or that they say that you want to call bluff on. Like you want to call their bluff, or they can be doing that with you. Oh my God, hopefully that didn't ruin anything. But yeah, I definitely am getting that here. A little bit of pestering energy. Or you just find this person to be annoying, or they may be too full of themselves and coming off as very arrogant, but there really isn't much to show for it. Or at the very least, it's just you're turned off with all of this great energy, and more inclined to wanting to put this person potentially in the friend zone, because you feel like you don't even know them that well. So, but even if you did, it's kind of like, why is it so important for you to try to impress me? You know, what is it about you and your upbringing or the environment that you exist in that makes you feel like you have to manipulate me to get what you need out of this dynamic, or to feel like you have to overtalk me, or whatever the conflict could be, or whatever it is that is annoying you at this time with this person. Okay? So it can go to that extreme with a single. If this is somebody that's super shy, then you're just trying to figure out how you can get them out of their shell without stepping on any toes with this justice energy, for the fact that you don't really know them that well. Like, you guys are still trying to learn each other and what it is that makes you guys tick. You know, I definitely feel like this person is a little bit more calculated as far as what it is that they say, and or what it is that they can do when you guys do have that like physical interaction. And it doesn't have to be sex, but just when you meet up like face to face or do something together. So very smart though, very intelligent, mentally stimulating. But I feel like the concern for you then is that all this connection is, you know, just somebody whose brain I can pick and just have really good I guess debates, like somebody that you can debate with, or just somebody that provokes thought, and then you guys come up with inventive ideologies or methods or products. I don't know how this can play out. It can be a lot of things, but you're worried that it's just that, and that is why you may put this person in the friend zone. You're trying to see, like, is there any chemistry at all? Romantic, sexual, physical chemistry. I'm not seeing anybody being too vain. The powerhouse is really of this spread is this justice energy, which also as a zodiac sign you can be dealing with a Libra. And then the Emperor, Martian energy, Scorpio, Aries, if you will, here. And this King of Swords that's in the middle. So you can have two suitors. You can just be wanting to play the field and not commit to anything right now. This is a selfish time. And just for you to have that companionship, but without the risk and the pressure of needing to fall in love with anybody right now. Like, you're okay with just having a group of people that you talk to that are of the opposite sex, potentially same sex. It really doesn't matter who you find yourself attracted to. Just because maybe it eases that loneliness and maybe that restlessness that you guys may be feeling, or in your own boredom. It's nice just to get things off of your chest or to vent a little bit. And also just see what similarities exist so that you can see what role they can play in your life, because that's fine. You can think about those things. You should feel like everybody in your life serves a purpose, and the best purpose that they can, right? For what they can do. Otherwise, like, what's the point? What's the point? But yeah, circling back to the very first person that I was reading for, with this person that you are not talking to. I feel like this space has been very necessary. I feel like this person has experienced growth that they couldn't really get to in the magnitude that they have grown if you guys were to still be so attached at the hip. Because again, I feel like there were little bouts of toxicity sprinkled within that whole dynamic. But again, I feel like this person is coming back that is going to be more persistent, that is going to be a little bit more, how do I want to describe that? They're going to be just more vulnerable and inviting and communicative. So whatever posed the problem in the past is what's coming in fixed. Like, you get the new and improved version of this person should you decide to trust them. Okay, so that may be some of the work that you have to do if this is not a vice versa and I'm reading for somebody else, like the opposite party that you're dealing with. Then this can, trigger you a little bit just to work on your self-esteem and like your overall confidence, and why you feel like you have to have such a stronghold and have such control over this other person. But you have to be forgiving, because people are flawed. So in matters of the heart, it really comes down to the person that you can see yourself loving despite all of the pain that you will incur in the relationship. So ask yourself that. Otherwise, in business, I feel like things are pretty good. If nothing else, you are finding time to quiet your mind and maybe flexing your body. This came up in Cancer's reading, so definitely give them a watch or give that video a watch. And I just find myself personally now taking on a lot of that energy, embodying more of that Cancerian energy, where I spoke about them wanting to or needing to stretch out their bodies. And I found that I've been doing yoga a little bit more regularly, just when I'm sitting down for prolonged periods of time, I ensure that I'm stretching my body any way I can. I'm dancing a little bit more, especially now that we have the shelter in place and most of us are working remotely. You have that benefit. So use this open space to your benefit at this time. And if you can't stretch your body because there may be some restrictions that you have with this Swords energy that holds you back, then try to find other ways to feed your mind, body, and soul at this time so you can come out of this, timeout, if you will, all the better for it. You know what I mean? So read more books, maybe learn another language, start YouTubing skill sets that you wish you had and start practicing and developing the skills that you can. Working on your fine motor skills is what I'm hearing for sure. But just being more agile. This is a time where you learn agility and how to adapt to troubling situations so that they don't overwhelm you. Your emotions can't ever overwhelm you. You can stay pretty even keeled in the midst of chaos. That's going to work at this time. Or you should learn that just for the next time that you find yourself facing some challenges, okay? I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be activating that throat chakra. Singing may be a hobby of yours that you take interest in at this time. Take some vocal lessons. Again, just find other ways to channel this restless energy if that is indeed how you feel in this space. And just find other fun things to do to distract you while you wait for this reconciliation, if it is even something that you want. That might be what you're fighting yourself against at this time, But that's what I have for you, Aries. So if this video resonated, give me a thumbs up, share this with your friends and family, subscribe if you haven't, and book with me should you need to. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and soul until you see me again. Ciao.